fall opening weekend of college football continues. The second day in a row here in Atlanta that we have ACC meeting SEC. And we lift the curtain on what could be a special season for number 13, South Carolina, as they take on the Hokies of Virginia Tech, as we welcome you to the Aflac kickoff game. Atlanta is jumping. Two fan bases that have swarmed here to be ready for this afternoon's game. Hi again, everyone. Bob Wischusen here with Louis Riddick. Chris Budden will join us in just a moment as well. Those South Carolina fans, there is a reason they are excited. How they finished last season and the guy they bring back quarterback this season.
Yeah, this guy's different now. Look, there's hype and then there's reality. I have a feeling today you're going to see them come together in the name of Lenora Sellers. All 6'3", 240 pounds of him. Freshman All-American, National Offensive Freshman Player of the Year last year. Maybe the #1 draft pick in the overall draft in 2026. He has it all, and he is going to take his game to another level with a very young wide receiver core today.
And the Hokies, their entrance is always enjoyable to be a part of as well. For the first time since the 18-19 seasons, they have gone to bowl games in back-to-back years. There's a renewed belief in Blacksburg that things for Virginia Tech might be even better this year, and a big reason why for them as well, their quarterback.
Yeah, his name is Kyron Jones, and he's not a small guy, in his own right. You're talking about 6'2", 230 pounds. His head coach, Brent Pry, told him, hey, look, we don't need you to put on the Superman cape all the time. Took a lot of hits a year ago. Wasn't able to really finish the season healthy. Has a new offensive coordinator this year in Phil Montgomery, who really was brought in to take his game to another level from a throwing perspective. They know he can run it. I look forward to seeing him put it up in the air today and see how he has progressed.
And Chris Budden for the South Carolina coach, as if today just being the opener wasn't emotional enough. An added layer, I would say, for Shane Beamer.
What an experience this will get to be for Shane as he goes up against the school that his dad spent nearly 3 decades at, Frank Beamer, and where Shane grew up on the sidelines. He told me, I don't even remember a point in my life where I didn't want to be a football coach. He told me a great story about when he was 10 years old in their neighborhood. They had a big field behind their house. He would go knock on all the kids' doors, enough to make a football team. And then he'd go up to the second floor balcony. He put on a little Fisher-Price headset and pretend to call plays down below. He's got a real headset on today, building his own career resume with his dad in the building getting to watch today.
And on the opposite sideline from Shane Beamer, of course, Brent Pry, who was part of the coaching staff under Frank Beamer when Shane was still playing at Virginia Tech, and now is circled back as the head coach. And he has made major changes to his coaching staff as well entering this season.
Yeah, he sure has. Look, he has a new offensive coordinator. We already talked about him in Phil Montgomery. On the defensive side, he brings in a young man by the name of Sam Wolfe, who has a professional background, meaning an NFL background. Last with the Arizona Cardinals, with the Minnesota Vikings. He's a guy who has learned under some great defensive coordinators. There's a lot of football firepower on this field here today, both on the field, in the coaches' booths, and in this broadcast booth, Bob.
If you say so.
That's right. Let's go.
You're talking about yourself. Virginia Tech won the toss and deferred. So we will see Lenora Sellers with the football first. Now, Lenora Sellers could easily end up being, as you said, the #1 pick in the draft after all is said and done. And most of America probably hasn't seen him play a ton last year, but last 6 games of the season especially is where he took his game to a different level.
He sure did. And look, rival defensive coordinators, and Sam Wolfe in particular, said he just continually improved as the season went on. And he improved as a thrower. You know this. I promise you this. He will have some extended plays tonight that will have your jaw dropping to the floor because of how big and strong he is. But it's his progression as a passer is that we all want to see.
And he starts with a 7th-year senior, 25-year-old Oscar Attaway. That tailback to his right. And why not put it up to start the game? He dumps it off to Maurice Brown, the tight end. Simple little tight end slip screen. Picks up a first down on the opening play. But Shane Beamer was running down in the middle of the player pile up right in front of his sideline with a big fist bump. Loved that start.
New offensive coordinator Mike Shula takes over for Dowell Loggins, who's now the head coach at Appalachian State. Another guy who they trust is going to help Lenora Sellers ascend to higher heights.
That's tight end Brady Hunt in motion. Play action action again. Seam shot and stride. Nick Harbor, the track star, flashes the speed, gets loose, and Caleb Brown brings him down, but not before he picks up 20 more.
And there you see it, just one-on-one to the athletic marvel, Nick Harbor, who stands 6'5", 235 pounds, has true, and I mean true, world-class speed. Did not run track this spring, focused on football. They expect him to have a big day today.
Second-team All-American in the 100 and 200 meters, was invited to the Olympic trials, but is concentrating solely on football. And not a lot there, maybe a yard. As getting caught up in the wash was Attaway, Delvin Gilliam, Kamari Copeland, James Jonko. That defensive line probably needs to be stout, to say the least, today and the whole year for Virginia Tech.
Well, they've got some dudes up there. Kamari Copeland, one of the very best athletes, number 13 that you'll see in all college football.
Play action again for Sellers. Another simple little dump off to Brady Hunt. Catch and run for the tight end again. Two chunk plays made by two different tight ends on this opening drive, and just like that, the Gamecocks knocking on the door of the red zone.
And you see the effect of the play calling and the ball handling and what it's having on the guys, on the end men on the line of scrimmage, putting them in difficulty because they know Lenora Sellers is such a good runner, getting people wide open, these short dump off passes, catch and run.
Attaway. Again, maybe only a yard, just inside the 20-yard line.
I mean, the threat of Lenora Sellers as a runner, what it does to your first and second level defenders, especially guys on the perimeter, as far as their run assignments, it's just a headache for 3.5, 4 hours, because you know he can just gash you running the football, but then he can throw it. And with this improved wide receiver core, albeit a young wide receiver core, this offense is super dangerous.
This time, as he's tripped up at the 15-yard line. Tyson Flowers came up to make the stop. A transfer from Rice, who, according to Brent Pry, is the quarterback of that secondary. He is at the smartest that they've got.
An area where South Carolina wants to be better in 2025, down here in the red area. When you have a guy who's a dual threat like Lenora, there's no reason why this team shouldn't be more efficient.
Quarterback run with two tight ends. Paved the way for Lenora Sellers. Bulldozer. End zone. Touchdown.
Lenora Sellers just so dangerous with his ability to run the football. And here they just basically run a quarterback power. And he is downhill in a hurry.
Well, if you are looking for a tone-setting drive to begin a season, did we just see it or what for South Carolina?
You're just going to see they're just going to pull the guard and pull the tight end, and they're just going to lead up in the hole. Lenore's is going to fake and then just follow him through the hole. He makes the safety miss. And you're talking about 6'3", 245 pounds. You better get your head in front of him or he'll run you right over. That's the start South Carolina was looking for.
The fans were piling into Tailgate Town outside of Mercedes-Benz Stadium early this morning. The 3 p.m. kickoff, and now a chance for Virginia Tech. BJ Prelo calls for a fair catch. Well, we just got done with our tennis coverage here on ESPN. I would say Lenora Sellers, he won his service game.
Yeah,
right now we see if Kyron Drones can hold serve.
And look, he is just as impressive from a physical standpoint. Maybe not as fast as Lenora Sellers, doesn't get as much hype. He's a fifth-year senior, fifth-year veteran. He finally got an offensive coordinator that they believe in, Philip Montgomery, who's going to help him develop his overall game. He can get it going too now as far as design quarterback runs. We'll just see if he can get the running game going, get the passing game, and just have a more complementary offensive style today.
Marcellus Hawkins in the backfield. And he gets the handoff. The most important thing for Kyron Drones is he's healthy. Right, last season missed the final 3 games. He had an MCL injury, turf toe, a stress fracture. And Brent Pry told us he's a very seasoned quarterback now because he really has been through it all. He earns the starting job. Expectations go through the roof. And maybe not quite the start of last season they were hoping for. Then ends the season injured. And now he is out of the pocket. Looking a little like Lenora Sellers himself, dives ahead, about 2.5 yards shy of a first down. So Kyron Drones has some armadillo skin with everything that he's been through, according to his coach.
No question about it. And they love his attention to detail. He wants to be coached. He wants the knowledge. And here, facing an important third down in his own territory, he's working behind a revamped offensive line as well. He's got 2 receivers. Just keep an eye on number 0, Aiden Green, and number 3, Donovan Green. They'll be his go-to guys. See if he looks to one of them here.
Ball start. And it got just a little tougher now for Virginia Tech. They'll back by 5.
Number 79.
See, this is what you don't want with this crowd noise. A very boisterous South Carolina crowd here. This is the time that Dylan Stewart, the fantastic sophomore for South Carolina, this is the situation that he starts looking for. He's lining up down here at the bottom of your screen, number 6. You're going to see him all afternoon. He has got pro potential written all over him when it's his time.
Delayed blitz, slant, incomplete, thrown behind Donovan Green. So it will be a 3-and-out for Virginia Tech with Brandon Cisse there to help break it up for the Gamecocks.
Now you're going to see the defensive tackle, Monkel Goodwine, getting good push in the pocket, made Kyron Drones have to hurry his throw. And there, Donovan Green just trying to run a slant against the transfer, Brandon Cisse. Ball behind him. That's the effect of pressure. South Carolina, that's the start that you want. Maybe you can get good field position here and get their explosive offense back on the field. If you're Virginia Tech, you want to try and flip this field.
And now contact made up front by South Carolina. That might give Virginia Tech 5 yards back, but of course 4th and 8. So they'll still be punting one way or the other, unless they were drawn off, in which case it gets
Offside,
worse.
number 14, defense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So still 4th and 3. And is the punt group coming off the field? Maybe just for a bit of a conference. Can't imagine you're going for it on 4th and 3 from your own 32-yard line. This group's heading right back out there.
Yeah, not with the way that offense looked, meaning South Carolina's. You want to try and get them pinned back in their own territory. Make them go the long way.
Just do get the punt away. Good job by Nick Vilsistas. Hurdling the tackler was Vakari Swing. And it will be back to South Carolina at their own 28-yard line. When we come back, they've got the early 7-0 lead.
Last year we've fallen short on many occasions, but this year is to right all the wrongs that we had last year.
The team's goals this season is just take it farther from last year. We didn't finish how we wanted to.
Be at the top of our game, not just to settle for what we did last year, but just going to a bowl game and continue that and getting into the playoffs.
We have a lot of doubters this season, but we're not really worried about that. We want to go ahead and prove to ourselves that we are who we say we are.
One of these 2 teams is going to take a big step towards their season-long goals. And, Lewis, how about your keys to today's game?
Yeah, for Virginia Tech, they got to get the passing game going. I'd like to see them get 200+. They got to create some turnovers now that South Carolina's back on the field here for a second time. For South Carolina, 170+ rush yards. They're off to a good start. They look powerful in that first drive. And defensively, make Kyron Drones win from the pocket. They kept him in the pocket in that first drive, forced him out, forced them to punt on 3rd down. They're off to a good start.
And Rasul Faison takes the handoff. And he pays the price. He paid a big price just in terms of wondering whether or not he was going to be able to play this season. Kamari Copeland with a tackle for loss, but Faison transfers from Utah State all the way back in January. Did the entire offseason program, did the weight training, did practice, prepared to play the season, and only found out this week that he was going to be eligible.
And they could not be more effusive in the praise for this young man and his resilience. He continued to practice, not knowing what the outcome was going to be. What a great treat for him to be here today.
They give it to him again. And he doesn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage. Copeland and Caleb Woodson combine on the stop. Already seeing Kamari Copeland, who is nicknamed the Hulk, and for good reason, make an early impact.
Yeah, Kamari Copeland, one of the very best athletes. Again, there's a lot of great athletic ability on this field here today. He was on Bruce Feldman's freak list. They love what he brings to the table, him and Kelvin Gilliam Jr. They are tone setters for this defense, and they need to set it here on 3rd down and get off the field.
Showing blitz on 3rd and 11. A rush only 4. And Sellers on the move. Stays in bounds and scrambles for the 1st down. He made Antoine Santiago miss in the open field.
I mean, Linares Sellers, you just see the athleticism. Once he gets outside the pocket, it's just hold on, man. We just don't know what's going to happen here. And you just see one of their best linebackers, Caleb Woodson, just can't get a good hit on him. That's what makes him so dangerous. You have to be an absolutely accurate tackler to deal with this young man.
Incomplete and out of the hands of one of those true freshman receivers, Donovan Murph. As that time it looked like he wanted to go to Brady Hunt, tight end in the flat again. Fool me once if you're Virginia Tech on the opening drive, but they had that one sniffed out.
As you can see, Mike Schuler really doing a nice job of mixing up the play calling for South Carolina, making these end men on the line of scrimmage, the guys who are force and contain people, really have to think. But Virginia Tech is flying to the football in this 2nd series.
Blitz picked up, wide open crosser, but it's dropped again. And this time it's Nick Harbor. 3rd down and 10.
You see Nick Harbor, who made the commitment full-time to football this offseason, is coming across on a shallow. And you can see there trying to get his head upfield to see where the defenders, where pursuit was coming from, just didn't look it in.
Only a 3-man rush. Sellers with all day has to check it down to tight end Michael Smith, reaching for the 1st down and didn't get there. It'll be 4th down and about a yard, maybe 2. Nope, they mark him out at the 46-yard line, so it's actually 4th down and a full 3 yards, but the offense staying on the field for the Gamecocks, at least for now.
Yeah, Shane Beamer, look, he has ultimate trust. As you see Mike Schuler there, the offensive coordinator, calling the plays into Linares Sellers' ear. You get him out on the perimeter. You put the ball in the best player in the country's hands, and you let him go to work here if you're actually going to run a play.
He's on to his left. Is this just a hard count? Play clock down to 3, down to 2, down to 1. It goes to 0. They didn't get the play off even if they were going to snap it.
Delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Good job by Virginia Tech to hold their water.
No question. That is a huge win for the Tech defense, withstanding the surge, coming back, regrouping on this 2nd series of plays. And you can see the intensity. They were flying to the football, playing with some fundamental discipline. It's a big drop by Nick Harbor, but nevertheless, Virginia Tech gets their 2nd crack at it offensively.
Mason Love, number 24, is the #1 kicking recruit in America a couple of years ago, according to our ESPN recruiting experts. The redshirt freshman. He can place kick as well as punt. And he has become the primary punter. Wobbly kick, though. This will take a bounce. And Holloway lets it roll. Gamecocks roll to the 15-yard line. The Hokies have it back when we return. Well, over this summer, some players from all 4 Aflac kickoff participating schools, not only South Carolina and Virginia Tech, but also Tennessee and Syracuse, made virtual visits to the Aflac Cancer and Blood Disorders Infusion Center. And you could see Colton, the patient, rang the bell, signifying the end to his cancer treatment. One of the many special moments they were able to share with the patients. They remotely controlled robots from their respective campuses and drove the vehicles up and down the hallways and visited the kids.
How cool is that? That is heartwarming right there.
Kyron Drones. Little zone read and slips one out on the edge. Takai Heath picks up 4 yards, stepped out. That is on 14-yard line.
Just getting positive plays. +4 if you can get that on 1st down. You're sitting in 2nd and 6. They'll take it. Now you open up the playbook a little bit. Phil Montgomery said that Kyron Drones is going to have a lot of responsibility at the line of scrimmage. Felt he had earned it and he deserved it.
Trying to turn the corner. Nice cut up the field by Hawkins. He's close to a first down. Looks like he's a half-yard short.
This revamped offensive line for Virginia Tech doing a nice job on this zone scheme, but just getting position, running their feet. And as you mentioned, Marcellus Hawkins just getting that foot in the ground. Now they got a 3rd and short, need to convert.
Drones, play action, has a one-on-one, takes a shot, drops it in. Donovan Green, first down and then some to the 45-yard line. Working on Brandon Cisse for 25 yards.
And there's the transfer from Wake Forest, Donovan Green, 6'2", 196 pounds. He has that long, limber body, can win in the contested catch phase of the game outside the numbers. He's done it his entire career. That's a nice pickup for them.
Play action again for Drones. Long throw to the sideline. Turning upfield is Aiden Green. A broken tackle and nearly got to the red zone before he was finally knocked out by Jalen Kilgore.
And there we are. We talked about them, the Green brothers. They're not brothers, but Aiden Green and Donovan Green, these would be the two that Kyron would go to. Aiden Green, they like to use him in the slot there. Just runs a simple out route. He gets it upfield, makes the first defender miss, and he's off to the races.
Throw it away. The pocket collapsed quickly, and Dylan Stewart shows up for the first time, but probably not for the last time in this game.
Yeah, it'd probably be a good idea to not let Dylan Stewart go unblocked, although you're probably trying to put him in difficulty with the ball handling in the backfield, make him slow down, trying to figure out if it's run or pass. But that's a guy you want to pay attention to.
Freshman All-American, SEC All-Freshman last year, and preseason first-team All-SEC this year. He might be on his way towards the top 5 in the draft next season. Slant on 2nd and 10, too hot to handle. Cameron Selden, the converted running back, couldn't haul it in. So now it's 3rd down and 10 for Drones in Virginia Tech.
Again, you just see the ball handling. He just rides it in there to Marcellus Hawkins. Nice job by Jalen Kilgore of basically closing off that throwing window initially. Made Kyron Drones have to complete a difficult pass. Here they go, 3rd and 10. High red zone.
Play clock at 5. And they have to call timeout.
Virginia Tech has taken their first charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds in late.
Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Verbo. And what jumped out, Lewis, to you the most? Was it success for teams like Ohio State and LSU, or was it disappointment for the teams that lost, like Alabama at FSU?
Well, I think one of the things, obviously, you have to be very careful of overhyping football teams week 1 when you haven't had the benefit of having a preseason to take a look at guys. I think that's obviously the case with Texas, although Coach Sarkisian will get them going. You just love the way that they play defense at Ohio State. We'll see what Penn State does when they go up against better competition. But look, Ohio State's defense is for real. LSU's defense is for real, and Garrett Nussmeier is one of those guys who he had a couple bad games last year and people forgot about him a little bit, maybe disrespected him a little. He showed you last night. He's that guy, and I think you're going to hear from him all season long. LSU is here to stay.
After the Virginia Tech timeout, Hokies trying to convert on 3rd down in the red zone. 4-man rush. Drones still flushed out. Escapes the rush of Dylan Stewart. Heaves one into traffic in the end zone, and it's intercepted. Fred Johnson, one of those alpha dog linebackers, back playing center field, and a bad decision by Kyron Drones forced it, and Fred Johnson takes it away.
There you see the good and the bad associated with Kyron Drones. You're going to see Dylan Stewart coming off the edge. You're going to see him make him miss and buy time. But this is where you have to make good decisions when you're down there in the red area. Just go ahead and take off and run this football and see if you can pick up the first down. The last thing you want to do is turn it over. And then you see Fred Johnson, these fantastic linebackers for South Carolina in terms of their athleticism. Fred Johnson, Sean Murphy, Two guys who just look like NFL body types, just coming up with a huge play after Virginia Tech had really gotten some momentum, and Kyron Drones looked like he was settling in throwing the football.
The only silver lining for Virginia Tech, a tackle made at the 2-yard line. So they have South Carolina backed up, but tough to come away empty. Not sure he even got back to the line of scrimmage. Swamped under by Jaden Keller.
And let's not, when we're talking about athletes, again, I said they're all over the football field. These two off-ball linebackers, Jaden Keller, 24, and Caleb Woodson, number 20 for Virginia Tech, they do not take a back seat to anyone. These two have already made their mark on this game. Jaden Keller, you see on your screen, 6'3", 235. Caleb Woodson, 6'3", 230. They can fly to the football and they can hit. They will make plenty of plays today.
Centers from the end zone, and he will go down for a safety. The defense scores for Virginia Tech. Emmett Laws was part of an orange crush that swallowed up Lenora Center.
You're just going to see the push here. You're going to see the drive and the drive. Kevin Gilliam Jr. And as you mentioned, Emmett Laws, they just crushed the pocket from the inside, rushing with lane integrity, caging in the quarterback. That's what they call it when you're going up against a guy who's as mobile and as elusive as Lenora Sellers. You have to rush with lane discipline. You cannot take chances on your own. And they just come with pure power and discipline right here. Lenore's got to get this ball out of his hands. Otherwise, you're going to be met with a very unfavorable result, and that is exactly what Sam Wolfe, the new defensive coordinator, wanted.
I give Kelvin Gilliam and Emmett Laws a point each, right?
No doubt.
Safety.
That's just great.
That one.
That's just great team defense on the part of Virginia Tech. Sudden change, you got a team backed up. That's when your defensive line says, hey, look, we got to come off the rock, and we got to disrupt the line of scrimmage. That's exactly what they did.
And Sam Wolfe has told us we like to describe our defense as simplex. Right? We try to do things that are simple, but we try to make it look complex for the opposition. And they score, and now, with that return by Isaiah Spencer, we'll start back on offense near midfield. Let's check in with Chris.
Yeah, Kyron Jones after that pick was really beside himself, kind of went to the ground. I can't believe I threw that immediately. Brent Pry went up to him, put his arms around him, and Jones basically just said, I know I made a bad decision, apologized to his teammates.
Well, complimentary football. He's got it back with 2 points on the board at midfield.
See, one of the things that they love about this young man is they know he's resilient. He'll shake that off. He'll continue to play. There's a reason why he's got a C on that shoulder pad on the left side of his jersey. And he's here to play for 4 quarters, not just for a half of the first quarter. Let's see what he's got now.
A 5th-year senior following in his dad's footsteps. As his father Pearson played at Virginia Tech and also in the NFL. That's how I know I'm getting old. You've got a 5th-year senior son, and I remember calling his dad playing games.
Yeah, life moves fast, doesn't it?
That is not good.
It moves really fast. But it's just cool to see the family ties at Virginia Tech, see the kids following their parents' footsteps.
Drones blindsided and dirts it at the feet of Benji Gosnell, and did well to get it out before he was hit from behind. Matthias Gear was all over him, and Brandon Cisse as well.
Yeah, you're just going to see pressure just coming off of his blind side immediately. Just a ton of push on the pocket, just making him speed up his process. How do you neutralize great quarterbacks? You've got to disrupt the line of scrimmage, make them operate in 3rd and long situations like they've got them in now.
They might have to spend another timeout. We'll see. As Drones was still looking over at the sideline, just got the play call. Down to 3 on the play clock, but they do get it off. They'll take a shot, hoping for Aiden Green into traffic. And he made the catch. Somehow scissored between 2 defenders and got the catch down to the 26-yard line with flags back at the line of scrimmage. Bakari Swain and DQ Smith I don't think they could believe that ball ended up in the hands of Aiden Green.
Absolutely unbelievable, unbelievable catch. You wonder if you're going to get a holding here on the edge as Dylan Stewart was coming around the corner.
Personal foul, chop block, number 4 and number 66. Offense, 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So that's Montavious Cunningham, the right tackle, and Jeremiah Coney,
yeah, you're going to see
it at tailback.
You're going to see him come in here and get an illegal chop block. They could have got a holding on the edge as well. When you have a pass rusher engaged, you can't go down low on him like he did.
Correction, that foul was on number 62
that makes
and
sense.
4. 62 and 4.
There you have it.
Certainly not the right tackle. That was Kyle Altuner, the center, who was engaged. So wipe away the amazing hookup to Aiden Green, and instead it's 3rd down and 24. Jeremiah Coney just going to try and buy a little bit of real estate coop for the punters, and instead Fred Johnson says no right at the line of scrimmage.
There's the athleticism that Shane Beamer was telling us about as far as how athletic they are at linebacker. Just watch the speed to the perimeter that Fred Johnson shows you. He's like, look, no, you're not getting to the edge. And when you get here and when I arrive, I'm not just going to put you down. I'm going to put you down with authority. They may not have as much experience at the linebacker position, but they feel that they may have upgraded from an athletic standpoint, and there it was on full display.
So Beltsistas gets that one away. Wobbly kick. Bakari Swain. Returnable bump. Muffs it at the 23. And hits up going south instead of north and covers up his muff inside the 20-yard line. So South Carolina dodges disaster.
See, as a punt returner, you got to get squared to the ball. Keep your elbows together. See if you can take that thing on full frontal and not turn to the side. Your eyes come down or any kind of break in your concentration, and those are the results that you get. But Shane Beamer knows just how important this game is to his football team and how important it is to Bakari Swain. Just coaching him up on the sideline, saying, hey, we're still in it. All's well that ends well.
You can hear the pads pop as he is ridden to the sideline.
You just see the Virginia Tech defense just playing real physical on the perimeter. Keyshawn Burgos, you just see him on the line of scrimmage, setting that edge. Linebackers pursuing inside out. This football team runs to the football. It's something that Sam Wolfe absolutely demands, and they've got the athleticism to do it. And they've settled in, Bob, since that first drive.
Picks up 3. The running backs for South Carolina only have 9 total yards on 8 attempts. When it hasn't been Lenoris Sellers running the football, it's been tough sledding for the run game, at least early here for South Carolina.
It sure has. They are attacking the line of scrimmage quickly, and they're attacking it with the bad intentions. Now here, we got a little bit of a 3rd and long type of situation. This is where Lenoris has to go to work, has to prove that he can read this out and convert.
Time, high throw, incomplete. Airmail Brady Hunt. So it will be a punt for South Carolina.
Nice job of Virginia Tech playing a little zone, just playing 4 across the board, 3 under. 4 across the board and 3 deep. And you just see Lenoris is trying to navigate the pocket, keep his eyes down the field. You see the referee was in the way as he was trying to find his tight end, Brady Hunt, had to put the ball high. It's another really good defensive series for Virginia Tech.
Another low kick for Mason Love, and it bounces to Tucker Holloway. Well, we will cap off a stellar Labor Day weekend of college football tomorrow night on ESPN. The debut at North Carolina of Bill Belichick as they will host the Frogs. TCU heads to Chapel Hill, and coverage begins at 8 Eastern. And it's also available streaming on the all-new ESPN app. How hard is it for a college coach to prepare for Bill Belichick when all you've got is NFL tape and a whole bunch of players not even wearing uniform numbers on the practice tape.
Yeah, NFL tape where Bill tailors his defensive scheme from week to week. Every single week, he don't give you the same thing. And now you go down there and watch practice. They don't wear any jerseys. Yeah, good luck with that.
Kyron Drones rolls out. And this time does throw it away. Makes that good decision that he didn't make on the red zone drive. Sean Murphy flushed him out of the pocket.
That's a real smart decision on part of Kyron Drones. South Carolina defense playing with good eyes. Everybody in position. In their zone coverage, just matching the patterns as they come into their zones. Kyron just throws it away. Smart decision. He lived to fight another down.
5 straight incompletions for Kyron Drones. Sings one to the sideline. Kai Heath for 6 yards. So now 3rd down and 4. And this will take us inside of a minute to go in the opening quarter.
That's just a nice positive play for Kyron Drones. You see how comfortable he looked in the pocket, how his posture and his mechanics were all just nice and fluid, delivering the ball on time. Now you pick up some nice positive yardage and you got 3rd and manageable. Just wonder what Clayton White is going to call here, the defensive coordinator for South Carolina. Got to get some heat on the passer.
Delayed blitz, flag on the play, and wrestling the football at the 40-yard line for what would be a completion as Heath will have to check the penalty marker. Thrown back near the line of scrimmage, and it's going to go against South Carolina. So this will be a Virginia Tech 1st down.
Might get offsides on Dylan Stewart. Looks like he was lined up.
Number 5, offside. Number 6, defense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's what it was. Just trying to cheat that line of scrimmage, trying to get a jump on the ball. You see it right. He's right here. Again, got to put your hand down behind the ball, put your head behind your hand, and that way you're always sure. Those pass rushers, those great pass rushers, always trying to crowd the ball as much as possible. You've got to be careful.
Takai Heath picked up 5 on the reception, though. Give him the 5 yards. Give him the 3rd down conversion reception. Decline the penalty. The poor guy should have that on his stat ledger. I just converted on 3rd down.
He sure should.
And Dylan Stewart got a head start, and I still got it done. Maybe that's the discussion here.
Yep, looks like it.
Well, one way or the other, it's a 1st down for Virginia Tech.
Kyron Drones, you're starting to settle in now a little bit after having a little bit of a lull as far as throwing the football. The receivers making big plays for you outside the numbers one-on-one.
From Central Missouri, really stepping up to play at this level against an SEC defense. He picks up a yard, and that will take us to the end of the 1st quarter. And now a word from Aflac on their Check for Cancer initiative.
Coach, what would you like to see on this possession to continue moving the chains and put up some points?
We can't shoot ourselves in the foot. We threw the interception. We had the costly chop block. You know, we should have more points than 2 right now on the board.
What did you think of Kyron's response to that interception?
Yeah, we lifted him up. I mean, he's a seasoned guy. He knew right away he needed to throw that over top. He'll bounce back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This possession to continue moving the chains and put up some points.
We can't shoot ourselves in the foot. We threw the interception. We had the costly chop block. You know, we should have more points than 2 right now on the board.
What did you think of Kyron's response to that interception?
Yeah, we lifted him up. I mean, he's a seasoned guy. He knew right away he needed to throw that over top. He'll bounce back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Virginia Tech defense literally lifted him up with a 2-point play as they sacked Lenora Sellers for a safety after the interception was thrown by Drones. Those are the only points on the board right now for Virginia Tech as they open the second quarter. With Drones finding a wide open crosser. Donovan Green loose down the sideline. Out of bounds inside the Gamecocks 25-yard line with a late flag thrown as well.
This is a nice job of this hitting the shallow cross coming across the field to Donovan Green. South Carolina's second-level defenders lost track of him as they got run off from all the deep routes going down the field. Now they're all just standing around looking at him. Then they hit him out of bounds, tack on some extra yardage.
After the play is over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 31. Defense, that penalty will be enforced. Half the distance to their goal from the end of the run. First down, Virginia Tech.
Peyton Williams, after Donovan Green had already veered out with a little extra. So it's 1st and 10 at the 11 for Virginia Tech.
You know, I said, look, South Carolina has to make Kyron Drones beat them from in the pocket. And right now, he's saying, hey, look, that's fine. You're not going to get any pressure on me. You're going to turn loose my receivers. I'll take these catch and run scenarios all day. He looks real comfortable right now.
Jet sweep. Cameron Sullivan. Nowhere to go. Justin Okoronkwo with a tackle for loss.
Again, you're just going to see this speed to the perimeter of Okoronkwo. This linebacker group, I said it early, they've got a lot of speed and athleticism. These guys are flying to the football. That is a heck of an inside-out play.
Eight loops in motion. Nearly a one-handed catch. Drones with a dangerous throw as he locked in on Takai Heath, and it was Dylan Stewart again in the face of the quarterback.
Yeah, you're just seeing him once again. They turn him in loose, trying to put him in conflict with the ball handling. They're not going to block him, seeing if he will go ahead and how he is going to play the ball handling action coming off the line of scrimmage, hoping it'll slow him down. It's just a very, very dangerous game to play with a guy that talented.
The last time Virginia Tech was down here, it was a force by Drones. He didn't protect the field goal and turned it over. Let's see what happens here on 3rd and 11. He's going to lob one into traffic in the end zone, incomplete for Aiden Green. So it will be a field goal attempt for Virginia Tech to try and draw closer.
Nice job on the part of South Carolina's defense and playing some zone coverage. You're going to see Kyron Drones just try and hit Aiden Green on the flag route. But you see the corner, Brandon Cisse, just get depth and kind of just cushion to the perimeter. And there you see the pressure. Brian Thomas Jr. coming off of Kyron Drones' blind side, continuing to try and just put him under duress, make him speed up his process.
So John Love, who had a tremendous year last year, 16 for 18 on the season. This one from 29. And he knocks it right down the middle. And it's now South Carolina 7, Virginia Tech 5. I was multi-viewing last night, were you? There's a lot to multi-view.
No kidding. I mean, this has been so much football going on and being played. You need as many multi-views as you can get.
I'm sucked up.
But it has been a great weekend of college football, man. It really has. I think that we're in for one of our best seasons yet.
And Nick Harbor's going to watch this one sail for a touchback. Lenora Sellers got this game off to a burst of a start with a touchdown run on the opening drive for South Carolina, but he's been a little quiet since, including taking a safety.
Man, he sure has. He started off 3 for 3, had that run of 15 yards ever since. He's 1 for 4 of 7 yards, has 2 rushes for 11 yards plus the safety. Look, Virginia Tech has settled in. They are playing like a football team. 11 plays. Yeah, I mean, just think about it. They have just really been able to not really find a rhythm right now. And you got to attribute a lot of that to Virginia Tech as far as this defense showing a lot of composure, having some nice athleticism on their side of the ball, too. They are not going to make it easy for them.
Delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And there's a mental error. And coming out of the first play to start a drive, just not having that sense of urgency and play clock awareness. So now it will be first down and 15. Since that opening 75-yard touchdown drive, 11 plays, 18 total yards, and a safety taken by the South Carolina offense. Sellers rolls out of the pocket, directs traffic, checks it down. Brady Hunt is there and steps out of bounds back near the original line of scrimmage. Isaiah Cash bumped him out, but it's going to be second down and 10.
One of the things we have to remember, it is week 1 for both of these teams. They're going to have to iron out some kinks. We're only here at 13:28 in the second quarter, so it's not going to be perfect. They're trying to feel each other out now and figure out what's going on. Just keep an eye on this Virginia Tech defense. Sam Wolfe talked about the fact that he likes to use a lot of pre-snap disguise. They're doing a nice job of it.
Incomplete. Blitz was coming off the edge, and Sellers may have had to rush that throw a bit. Michael Short tipped it.
You're just going to see Michael Short, the linebacker, right here. He's just reading Lenoris Sellers, just reading his eyes. Times his jump perfectly as he's getting blocked. Just good, fundamentally sound, disciplined defense on the part of Virginia Tech ever since that opening drive score.
Third down and 10. Sellers once again on the move. He's going to tuck it under and try and run, and he will not come anywhere close to picking up the first down as Caleb Woodson shadows him to the sideline.
Another good job on the part of Virginia Tech's defense as far as pre-snap disguise, giving him one look at before the snap, after the ball snapped, rotating to a different coverage. Everyone playing with great field vision, matching routes down the field, keeping their vision on Lenoris Sellers just in case he decides to pull it down and run. You can't ask them to play much better than they've played, again, since that opening drive.
Mason Love kicking it to Tucker Holloway. This time a better kick. Holloway didn't go for a fair catch and paid the price. They'll give him forward progress to the 16-yard line. But Nick Harbor was there to wrap him up. And when we come back, we'll hear from a championship-level coach, Dawn Staley. September is National Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and the theme of the Aflac kickoff game is Kickoff for a Cause. And South Carolina women's basketball coach Dawn Staley, not just here to cheer on the Gamecocks, but also to support the fight against cancer. And Coach Staley is with Chris.
Yes, Bob. Somehow or some way, cancer touches all of us. It touched you, your sister had leukemia, a life-saving bone marrow transplant. For those watching and listening, why is it so important to get screened and for the continued research?
It's important because 1 in every 3 people in the world will have a cancer diagnosis. So, I mean, Aflac's doing a tremendous job with just ordinary, just checkered things should be reminders of go get checked. My sister got checked. She's here 5 years later, you know, with a great prognosis. She's living her life. So I need everybody to pour into this movement. Hashtag check for cancer in all your social media platforms.
We appreciate the time. We'll let you go watch some football because I know you're a big football fan. Your Eagles to the Super Bowl. Maybe we'll see your Gamecocks in the playoffs.
Go Cox, baby. Go Cox.
Thank you, Coach.
Our thanks to Dawn Staley. And to her point, as she said, according to the American Cancer Society, 1 in 3 people
That's an amazing
at some
stat.
point will be diagnosed with some type of cancer in their lifetime. So early detection, certainly the best weapon.
No question.
Pretty good weapon. P.J. Prelo on first down picked up 9 yards to get this drive started for the Hokies. They give it to him again. Little jump cut that time. Face to face. He is met by Nick Barrett. It'll be third down and short.
That is a heck of a job by Nick Barrett, 6'3", 322. Look, defensive coordinator Clayton White said, hey, look, we may not be as athletic on the interior this year, but we are bigger and we are stouter. Nick Barrett fought off a double team and just stoned the runner for basically no gain. That is how you get it done. Now you got here third and short. Big situation here for South Carolina. Can get the ball back in favorable field position. If you're Virginia Tech, you got to find a way to convert.
Gamecocks lost their top 4 interior defensive linemen, 3 on NFL rosters. And running through contact, Marcellus Hawkins does indeed pick up the first down. Brett Johnson made the stop, but a lot of talent that Shane Beamer and defensive coordinator Clayton White had to replace Lewis on their interior.
No doubt about it. They had to, but they had said that they were prepared for it. You know, Nick Barrett, Monkel Goodwine, they had kind of foresaw that this was coming down the pike, that they were going to have a bunch of guys leave all at the same time. They said that's just part of roster building. In the present-day college football landscape, they think they'll be okay, but they're in a battle right now because this revamped offensive line for Virginia Tech are playing just as physical as they can.
And Gosnell in motion, play action, and they slip on the pass in the field, and he is immediately met by Fred Johnson. J.R. Johnson comes over and just buries the tight end right at the line of scrimmage.
You know, I just love watching great athletes, especially linebackers like Fred Johnson, who stands 6'3", go 244, just flying out to the perimeter. It's an easy, simple read. Just keep your eyes on your work and just drive on the football. Again, these are the things that Clayton White, the defensive coordinator, said that, hey, we are really happy with the kind of athleticism that we feel we have on the football field this year. They just need to play more and play together. Looking good so far.
To the near side, making a man miss was Hawkins near the line of scrimmage. And he picks up close to 7. Miles Norwood eventually tripped him up. Now it will be 3rd down and 3. Injury update with Chris.
Yeah, Judge Collier is down here without his pads and with crutches on. I was told it's a sprained knee. They would evaluate him at halftime, but he has his pads off and not able to walk.
So down a starting corner, as there is Judge Collier on the sideline, disappointed to say the least for South Carolina. They'd love to have him out there on 3rd down and 3. Gamecocks show blitz. They rush only 4. Drones. Wide open, incomplete to Marcellus Hawkins. Well, that should have been a layup 3rd down conversion. But Drones threw it low.
It's a great play call. They had it perfectly. You're going to see linebacker can't get out in man-to-man coverage. They have the perfect play call. Little rub route situation in a man coverage situation. Linebacker can't get out there. Kyron Drones dismisses Marcellus Hawkins. He would have been gone down the near sideline here. Great play call by Philip Cunningham. Just can't get it executed.
Jalen Kilgore now deep to receive. As Veltsitsas gets it away. Good spiraling kick. Fair catch called for. And made at the 21-yard line by Kilgore. 43-yard punt, no return as we approach the midway point of the 2nd quarter.
You just saw the Virginia Tech defense led by new defensive coordinator Sam Wolfe just settling in nicely, getting home with 4, playing some zone behind it with great vision on a quarterback as dangerous as Lenore Sellers is running the football here. They just rotate to a cover 3 look, post snap, everyone eyes on their work, matching the patterns down the field, forcing Lenore Sellers into an errant throw. You have got to be happy with the way in which this Tech defense is settled in there. You see Sam Wolfe, the new defensive coordinator, on your screen. Brent Pry said this has been an absolute home run of a hire for him. So far, so good.
Sellers sets up the screen. Attaway. Blockers out in front. That time they let the pass rush through intentionally and picked up 8 yards behind it. I guess that's one way to neutralize the pass rush, right? Slip a screen behind it.
Exactly, and get Oscar Attaway out there on the perimeter, see if he can make a defender miss. But you see these linebackers just flying to the football.
Attaway again, 1st down.
I think what you're seeing here is offensive coordinator Mike Shula just going back to some real simple play calling, speeding up the tempo, trying to get this ball downhill, running it with some authority.
Quickest tempo we've seen from either team so far. Attaway into the secondary, down the sideline. There's the boom. He's got a 1st down and more. Looks like a gain of 23. Clinton Reddish eventually tripped him up.
Hit you with the zone scheme, now come back with a little bit of a G scheme and just pull the guard. Again, just let Attaway get his pads square to the line of scrimmage. He's trying to simplify things. And Quentin Reddish came in with a heck of a tackle, man. I mean, these kids are flying around out here.
Stay with the workhorse. Only 2 yards this time. Oscar Attaway and Rasul Faison. That's 2 25-year-old running backs, both in their 7 years of college football.
I cannot emphasize this enough, though. Just keep your eyes on the lines of scrimmage here. These linebackers, Keller and Woodson, I mean, it is an absolute, like a dynamite explosion every time they are meeting pads with these running backs. Good physical football.
Counter play. Nice cut again, and he grinds out another first down. Shane Beamer over on the sideline helping the officials spot the ball.
Just going to pull the guard and just get out here. Just inside the force player. You got to make a defender miss. You got to be elusive in the open field. You see there, Dante Lovett thought he had a shot on him. Adaway makes him miss. That's nice improved lateral wiggle from Oscar Adaway from last year to this year when you watch his tape. Good, hard, productive running.
A quarterback on the move. Sellers with a flag thrown behind the play. He picked up 8. Let's see if it comes back. Dante Lovett made the stop for Virginia Tech.
Maybe you get a holding on Jordan Dingle, the tight end.
Holding, number 6. Offense, 10-yard penalty. First down.
And that's true freshman wide receiver Donovan Murph.
I thought we saw the holding come out here on the perimeter. I thought it was right here. He's called number 6. I think you're going to see there the tight end Dingle, though. You're going to see him grab the jersey right there as Lenora Sellers was turning it upfield.
You might have been the one to call the penalty on the right guy.
I think I
think they got it wrong.
I think I'll get a double salary for today.
Well done. Ooh. Losing the football, Sellers, as he was buried back near midfield. And that forces the cover-up as Josiah Thompson went back to pick up the fumble, but El-Haj Fall.
Just watch the power, the good old forklift where he gets the hands of the offensive tackle up in the air, and he just forklifts him off the ground and just buries Lenora Sellers. That is a heck of a powerful pass rush from El-Haj Fall. 6'3", 288 pounds.
Making a man miss in the backfield phase. Down the sideline with a cutback. He just about got it all back. It was 2nd and 33. And he's got a first down. He picked up 33.
It's just unbelievable. Make a defender miss in the backfield, prevent the negative run, and then you're just off to the races. Between Faison and Oscar Adaway, they are carrying this football team on this drive. The running game just starting to get cranked up. The momentum swings, Bob, just back and forth. Big play for Virginia Tech. Big play for South Carolina. I know it's only 7-5, but there's a lot of action.
Play of a first down is under further review.
So I guess they want to check the spot, see if Faison did indeed get all the way there to move the chains. But after one big momentum-changing play made by El-Haj Fall to get the 14-yard sack and fumble, it looked like Faison got it all back, making a man miss in the backfield.
That is just an incredible individual effort by Faison.
He needed to get to the 21-yard line to pick up a first down.
With the knees down at about the 23. You see it there, just
stayed airborne for a little while, but you're right, he's a couple of yards short.
Nevertheless, still just a great individual effort. I mean,
hey, from 2nd and 33 to 3rd down and 2
on a running play. It's just unbelievable. You see Quentin Reddish trying to get his head across, trying to get him on the ground. Dante Lovett coming in. The knee hits the ground.
Faison was 2nd team All Mountain West, over 1,100 yards last season for Utah State.
After review, the runner's knee was down at the 24-yard line. It'll be 3rd down.
Faison went to a couple of different junior colleges as well. And you add in injuries and the COVID year still at play for some players, and transfers and red shirts, and you get some guys who are 25 years old still playing college football. But Donovan Murph, who wears number 6 for South Carolina, he just turned 18. So he was 10 years old when some of these guys began their college careers.
It's a big, big third down. Again, the running game has been paying dividends for you.
And now a timeout called by South Carolina before third down and 3.
It's called their first charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds and late.
Sunday night baseball. The series finale between the Braves and Phillies at 7 Eastern on ESPN. ESPN Deportes and ESPN Radio will begin as soon as we're done here with the Aflac kickoff game. Our coverage at 6 Eastern with baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown. How about the emotions today for that guy? Right, Shane Beamer, of course, grew up a Hokie. His dad, the most legendary coach in program history, played for him, coached with him. And Chris Button, he had to swallow a lot of emotion before today's game that normally is just added on to what a coach will feel in an opener.
He did, but he almost seemed to enjoy it. I watched him when Virginia Tech came out. They do the Enter Sandman. He took off his headset. He listened to the whole thing and then just sat back and smiled.
I can imagine the memories. Third down and 3. Lenora Sellers rolls out, throws across his body. First down inside the 10-yard line.
Bob, that is a laser right there.
Nick Harbor made the catch and made sure that time.
You see Nick Harbor just running the speed. Now just look at Lenora Sellers. Get his shoulder square, there it is, and just throw a laser to Nick Harbor. Gets his feet in bounds. Well executed third down conversion.
They run it with Bezos. He gets swallowed up at the 9-yard line. Cody Heisman brought him down.
Now that you're down here inside the red zone, it just becomes one of these situations where, as a defense, you don't want to let a team run the football on you down here. You want them ideally to throw it, since the throwing windows are so tight. They don't have as much space to work with. Lenora Sellers is the equalizer. Because of his running ability, we saw it in their first drive. This is what can make them potentially so much more dangerous.
Harbor in motion. Play action Sellers. Stumbles a bit. Buys time. Misses Harbor. And it will be third down and goal. Flag just dropped on the far side of the field. Well away from the play. South Carolina made it look awfully easy on the opening drive of the game. They went 75 yards right down the field and scored a touchdown. And they have been outscored by the Virginia Tech defense.
There is no foul for an ineligible player downfield. The quarterback was legally grounding the ball. He was outside the pocket. It'll be third down.
So they picked the flag up. Third down and goal from the 9-yard line. But South Carolina's been outscored by the Virginia Tech defense 2-0 since that opening drive.
Yeah, they're just off a little bit right now. They just cannot seem to, like there you saw Lenora Sellers stumble coming out.
What do you do to get them back on?
I mean, he's got to be the one who primarily, as we're talking about the passing game, that gets them back on. He's got to make some good reads, pull it down if necessary. Don't turn the ball over, but he's got to get it going.
Now he looks end zone. Floats one for Harbor. Gets a foot down. Controls the football. Yes, touchdown.
Well, that's getting it back on right there. That is a beautiful touch throw. Opposite hash on a corner route to Nick Harbor, lined up in the slot. And there you see that big 6'5" frame. Secures the catch. Got his foot down. That is a heck of an executed play. That is a difficult throw. Put it up high to your 6'5", 235-pound receiver.
Previous play of a touchdown is under further review.
Foot down. Second foot down.
It's control all the way to the ground. That has to be the question. Obviously, foot down is not the issue.
Right.
But was the ball moving when he hit the ground? This will probably be our best look.
Well, he's got it. I don't think the ball's moving.
We have our officiating expert, Jerry McGinn, who can join us here as well. Looked like 2 feet down, Jerry, and then a little swipe at the end might have jostled the ball free. What do you see?
He did have 2 feet down, I agree with that, but he has to complete the process of the catch. He goes to the ground and the ball is moving. I believe replay is going to overturn this to an incomplete pass.
So 25 years of officiating experience there telling us that they might take this away from Nick Harbor. Similar play last night in the LSU game as well, where I remember hearing Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit, I think, say it right. It's a high bar for a catch if that's not a catch.
It sure is.
I mean, that little wiggle of the football, and does the football hit the ground? He also, it seemed like he had it secured when he got the second foot down. Here's the decision. It was called a touchdown on the field.
After review, the receiver did not maintain firm possession of the ball as he went to the ground. It's an incomplete pass.
That's why we have officiating experts.
You know, that's one of those situations where, though, look, if it looks like a catch, it should be a catch. And I understand that that's not the letter of the law as far as the rule is concerned. But I mean, the man had the ball in control, has 2 feet down. At the end, it gets knocked loose. And look, credit Virginia Tech and their secondary for fighting all the way till the end of the play and making it difficult on him.
It's a 4-point call at least, as William Joyce on short range knocks it through, but instead of a touchdown, the Gamecocks have to settle for a field goal, and so now they have a 5-point lead.
I mean, you can see he's probably arguing the same thing that we're sitting here just discussing. I mean, that's a tough call to make, and I understand why the call is made. Again, credit Virginia Tech's defense for continuing to try and rally.
It's certainly worth another look.
No question. And there you see it. It's a perfect throw. It's great execution for basically 3/4 of the down. It's just that final quarter of the down. At the very end, as a defensive back, you just continue to fight, continue to swipe at that ball, and he just knocks it loose enough to where Nick can't control it.
How about a look from our progressive pylon cam?
That's just a great shot right down the sideline. It's a game of inches. Just have a hard time with the fact that looking at that play, especially when you look at it in slow motion, you're going, hey, guess what? That's not a catch.
And you even say that as a bitter old defensive back.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm giving credit to the Virginia Tech secondary. You keep fighting, swatting at that ball. Man, that's tough.
And it's a 4-point call in the end as well. Instead of 14-5, it's now 10-5 and a chance potentially for Kyron Drones to take the lead before halftime, as he is trying to settle into this game as well.
Yeah, I mean, Kyron Drones has looked nice. I mean, this is a guy who's big and strong, trying to win from the pocket, has made some good decisions, made that one bad decision with the interception in the end zone. Lenore Sellers, after that first drive, Virginia Tech's defense had him struggling a little bit as far as being able to find open receivers, had a nice drive there. The running game gets going. Harvard just can't finish the catch. It's a nice back and forth.
Quarterback draw. Drones gets dragged down after a gain of 3. A couple of years ago, Kyron Drones had a 17 touchdown, 3 interception season, and that took the expectations and really shot them through the roof. And last year for Virginia Tech, he didn't play as well. 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and injuries. That plagued him through the year and cost him the final 3 games. Now he's healthy, but this is a stout defense he's opening up against.
Yeah, and you mentioned the key word. Now he's healthy, and they want to keep him that way.
There he goes again.
They don't want him taking too many of those kinds of hits right there. They want him to be judicious.
Yard short of the first down with 3 minutes to go in the half.
But that is a big, and I mean big, hit at the end that he takes from Troy Pikes. Just watch 33 come in, and right there, right in the back of his rib cage. Those are the kind of things that you just wince and go, get up, let's get to the next play.
Drones, a little tush push. And it looks like they will give him just enough for the first down. And that might take us down to the 2-minute timeout. Both teams have 2 timeouts to spend as well. Let's see if Virginia Tech hustles up to the line and gets one more snap off. Or I think the offense is already just being called over to the sideline. They're going to let the clock wind all the way down to 2 minutes. So we will reach the 2-minute timeout here in the first half. A low-scoring defensive slugfest between these two teams.
This is a 2-minute timeout. Timeout on the field.
And Lewis, every bit as hard-hitting and high-paced as we expected. A defensive battle between Virginia Tech and South Carolina. Bob Wischusen here with Lewis Riddick and Chris Budden. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Virginia Tech could take the lead at halftime with a solid drive here, but that has a lot to do with the fact that Nick Harbor's receiving touchdown, Lewis, a moment ago was overturned.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those discussions that I think will go on and on about what constitutes a complete catch and what constitutes a touchdown and what doesn't. But we're moving on.
Kyron Drones, free play here. And it's just a swing pass to Benji Gosnell. He had a hard count, and it got South Carolina to jump in the neutral zone. I'm not sure that he recognized the flag was thrown. A lot of times quarterbacks just take a shot then, but he opted for the out.
Offside, number 6. Defense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
There was a 7-yard completion, but they will most likely opt to get the down back and take 2 yards off the play.
See, it's Dylan Stewart now. That's 2 times. Once he was lined up offsides, wasn't able to get himself situated this time. The snap count, the hard count. Just got to sit in there. Got to make sure that you're lined up on sides, move when the ball moves. Sounds simple in theory. He's come close to affecting this game as far as getting the quarterback on the ground. You can see he's coming around that corner with a lot of intent. Just hasn't been able to get home yet.
First and 5, so they can run it with Cody. Bouncing off tackles, bouncing off his own blockers, and he has 4 yards. Okoronkwo and Brian Thomas Jr. Again, making me feel old. Brian Thomas Sr. It's a first-round pick of the Jets back in 2002. I've been calling the game since then.
Well, time flies, Bob. It flies. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many of these young men following in the footsteps of their fathers, playing this great game that we all love. It's cool to see.
Another hard count. Just about got Dylan Stewart to jump.
Sure did.
That time he got back onside, though, and his mates rally and bring down Drones. Brian Thomas Jr. was there first. So forward progress may have gotten him back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
And it's the hand clap that just continues to get him. You're going to see Dylan Stewart jump right here. But you see at the point of attack, the interior of the defense just plays with stoutness. And there you see Brian Thomas Jr. playing with gap discipline, making sure that Kyron Drones isn't able to get his forward progress going.
South Carolina trying to get lined up on defense before a big 3rd down. And they may have gotten a stop. And if they did, I have to think Shane Beamer's going to use a timeout. 37 seconds in the half. Coney was stopped short of the line to gain.
Again, another great job by Brian Thomas Jr. Just knifing down inside, creating a pile at the point of attack.
And Nick Barrett's hurt.
You see Brian Thomas Sr. there on your screen.
Virginia Tech has called their 2nd charge timeout of the half. The runner was short of the line to gain. It's 4th down.
So we'll see what Virginia Tech opts to do.
Play of the runner short of the line to gain is under review.
On 4th down after they double check to make sure that he didn't get the first down. But, you know, it's funny, best laid plans. We thought we were going to be talking about Lenora Sellers and Kyron Drones throughout this game. They'd be making spectacular play after spectacular play, and yet these two defenses have really bottled up the 2 respective quarterbacks.
Yeah, give credit to the coaching staffs, right? And give credit to the players on those sides of the ball, being defense respectively for both teams. They are flying to the football, and they have made the adjustments necessary, and they are kind of settling in. It's to be expected, though, that offenses may struggle a little bit here early on. They'll find their footing. Here you see on the replay, the South Carolina front just resetting the line of scrimmage. You see Nick Barrett, he kind of gets twisted up inside there. I mean, it is just a bunch of big bodies in there. Brian Thomas Jr. knifing in on the outside. You see the linebacker stepping up. Okoronkwo just coming downhill.
Does the football get to the 46-yard line? Really, the 45.5-yard line is where he needed to get to pick up the first down. They marked him just short. And it did look like he got the ball across the 45. I'm not sure if he got it far enough. So Jerry McGinn, again, our referee expert, can weigh in here. And it looks like, Jerry, they're going to move the football and measure.
They can do that, Bob. I really think that
the 45.5-yard line. We will now measure to see if he's obtained a first down.
Yes. Yeah, this is going to be really close because the line to gain is the 45.5. It looked like at first that the line judge had a great spot on this. He was right there, and I think it's going to be short, you know, looking at it from the naked eye, but it will be extremely close. This is why we still measure as opposed to the NFL.
And the NFL has gone to chip in the ball virtual measurements, but still old school here in college football as they will run the chains out. Keeping in mind as well, a lot of time has come off the clock here. Virginia Tech down to 1 timeout, only 37 seconds left. And it looks like by about the front third of the football, they will pick up the first down. Now, college football rules inside of the 2 minutes. Of course, you do get the benefit of when you pick up a first down, the clock stops until they set the ball ready for play. So that added weight to stop the clock when you're running the 2-minute drill, but 37 seconds left and only 1 timeout. Got to figure they're at least 20 yards away from reasonable field goal range.
Due to the stoppage, Virginia Tech will not be charged that timeout. They will still have 2 timeouts remaining.
So they get the timeout back. And that extra timeout could prove to be pivotal with only a little over a half-minute to go. Now the clock rolls. Quick snap to Drones. Play action. He's in trouble. Coming back to help out the quarterback, though, was Aiden Green, and he steps out of bounds as well.
So that's a nice job by Kyron Drones of turning what looked like it could potentially be a negative play into a positive one. His athleticism, getting outside on the perimeter, getting the completion, wide receiver getting out of bounds. Mindful of the clock, mindful of the situation.
Nice kicker John Love made a 60-yarder in the Duke's Mayo Bowl last year, so he has quite a leg. Drones backpedaling, buying time, and he's going to go deep towards the goal line. Incomplete. He just overthrew Aiden Green.
He sure did. That's a nice job by Aiden Green of just going deep on the scramble situation, and he had his defender beat. Kyron takes just a little bit off of this, is able to set his feet and throw this. This could have been a disastrous play for South Carolina because Aiden Green was behind the corner, Miles Norwood.
So 3rd down and a long 3. And we're down to 18 seconds left in the half.
Virginia Tech still with those 2 timeouts is going to be critical. A lot of time came off the clock there.
Now that last play took 12 seconds. And now Shane Beamer wants a defensive timeout.
South Carolina has taken their 2nd charge timeout of the half.
Tonight at 7:30 on ABC, it's a top 10 matchup. And one of those old rivalry games we all grew up on, Notre Dame, Miami. The game available streaming on the all-new ESPN app as well. Notre Dame 14-2. Last season, all the way to the college football playoff title game before being the runner-up, losing to Ohio State. Miami 10-3 with the #1 pick in the draft. Their second 10-win season in the last 20 years, and they were knocking on the door of the playoff all the way until the end of the year. And they have a quarterback transfer that is notable as well. We'll see if Carson Beck can take the place. Cam Ward and
some big
bring the Canes to the college football playoff.
Very big shoes to fill. Just love the things that they're doing down there in Miami to bring that place back to prominence. We really enjoyed our meetings with Mario Cristobal a year ago. Got to see Cam Ward play a couple different times. Got to see Marcus Freeman in Notre Dame too, right here in this building.
3rd down and 3. All-out blitz. They beat it for a 1st down and more. Catch and run for Aiden Green. That'll stop the clock. 13 seconds to go. But they might as well spend one of their 2 timeouts, and they will. And Dylan Stewart is hurt.
For an injured player.
Looks like he's grabbing his right shoulder.
That's the most dangerous defensive player, arguably, that South Carolina has. And the true sophomore, he is not getting up that quickly.
Never obviously want to speculate. Doesn't look like there's anything obvious that happens to him. But here he comes, coming around the corner. And there you see him. There he hits with the right shoulder as he hits Kyron Drones after he releases the football. And then that's when he grabs that right shoulder area. You just hope it's a little bit of a stinger. You see him trying to work his arm out as he's walking off the field here. But that is a great read by Kyron Drones. Aiden Green has really stepped up in this game. There's Dylan Stewart. You see him there with the rip, trying to close. It's right there at the end. Then he grabs the shoulder.
Now that saved Virginia Tech a timeout, so they still have 2 left with 13 seconds on the clock. Drones, long throw to the sideline, incomplete. And now only 6 seconds on the clock. So do you let John Love try a field goal from right here? Again, he made a 60-yarder in their bowl game against Minnesota last year. And I think they're going to trot him out. And this one won't be from too far outside. It won't be 60 yards, but it'll be close. It'll be a 56, maybe a 57-yarder. It'll be 56 yards.
The way kickers are kicking now at this level and the NFL level. 60 is the old 50. These guys have been able to absolutely just boom these field goal attempts.
And I guess if you can ice a kicker before a 56-yard attempt.
And final charge time out of the half.
Shane Beamer will try. And this gives John Love a chance to run back over to the sideline, tee a couple up, knock a few practice swings into the net before he trots back out there to try it.
You see there, veteran special teams coach Joe DeCamillis. On these long field goal attempts, you really coach your inside guys to get their hands up the ball. The trajectory is usually going to come out a little low because they're trying to drive the football. Because of the distance, you really want to get push in the interior. Get your hands up. See if you can get a tipped field goal attempt and get off the field without giving up any points.
He gets it away. Will it reach? It looks like it will. He's got it. John Love from 56. Makes it a 2-point game at halftime.
These kickers are making these long field goal attempts look like nothing. They're making them look like PATs. You see, they get some push on the interior. Monkel Goodwine, it's just right down the middle. Boom. He clears it with plenty of room to spare.
Let's head down to Chris.
Coach, some missed opportunities offensively. The touchdown gets called back. How would you evaluate your offense in the first half?
Up and down. Obviously had a great first drive to start the game and had a great last drive right there. In between that, kind of sloppy. Just feel like guys trying to do too much. Everybody just on offensively just needs to, settle down and do their job.
Appreciate it. We'll see you in the second half.
Thank you.
A 2-point game at halftime. South Carolina with a 10-8 lead. Coming up after the break, we'll have the halftime report. Laura Rutledge, Roman Harper, and Jordan Rogers will take over. A fun start. We'll see what the second half has in store between South Carolina and Virginia Tech. Welcome back to the Aflac kickoff game. Set for the start of the third quarter in Atlanta. We've got a 2-point game. Low scoring between South Carolina and Virginia Tech. The Gamecocks by a pair as we begin the third quarter. Virginia Tech won the toss and deferred, so they will start the third quarter with the football. Bob Wischusen, Lewis Riddick, and Chris Budden. Back-to-back games here at Atlanta. Much different game today than we had yesterday between Syracuse and Tennessee. Low scoring, yards have been tough to come by.
They sure have, and I think Shane Beamer talked about it before they went in at the half. It's just been fits and starts, inconsistent play by both teams. Give credit to the defenses, though. They have made it hard for both of these teams to actually finish with touchdowns and sustain momentum. Kyron Drones gets his first crack at it here initially here in the second half. We'll see what they can do with it. He's had some good moments. See what he can do against this South Carolina defense that can rush the passer pretty well.
Thomas Williams from the goal line. And he won't even get past the 16-yard line. So good kick coverage by South Carolina. All right, what adjustments, if any, are you expecting either of these two offenses to make, considering how frustrated they've been, as well as the two defenses have played?
Yeah, it's interesting. Look, I think both quarterbacks in particular just have to hit the plays that are there to be hit. I mean, you've seen Kyron Drones miss some wide open wide receivers, but then he's also made some great individual efforts and had some great throws. Same thing for Lenora Sellers. He had the great first drive, and then Virginia Tech's defense really settles in, makes things difficult for him. But when you're talking about high-level players like him, you got to figure out ways. Obviously, they have a lot more intel on these defenses. We'll see what adjustments they make.
They start the second half on the ground with Marcellus Hawkins as we check in with Chris.
Yeah, I spoke with Brent Pry coming out of half. He was fairly optimistic of what his team has done. He said, we've had a ton of adversity. We gave up the touchdown to start the game. We had the penalties, the interception. But I'm really proud of how my team has responded to that. He also said, listen, this is exactly how you really want to draw it up. You end the half with the ball in your hands and getting points. You start the half with the ball in your hands.
Chance to put together back-to-back possessions. And Hawkins will move the chains. Monkel Goodwin brought him down. So the Alabama transfer gets another tackle, but not before Marcellus Hawkins. Again, an unlikely bell cow running back for Virginia Tech, Central Missouri transfer. Playing at a much lower level of football, but looks like he belongs at this level.
He sure does. And offensive coordinator Phil Montgomery said that he has continued to just trend the right way. He made a jump from the spring to the summer. He's making another jump now here in the fall, and they're leaning on him.
Gets it again here. Turns the corner, spins on. Good balance as well. Picks up 7. Brandon Cisse eventually got him on the ground.
One of the things he mentioned is that he is just a dense athlete, meaning he's just rocked up and put together. Arm tackles are not going to bring him down. You saw him spin out of the initial tackle attempt by Goodwin, and he is just getting his momentum going. Like that 4.6 yards per carry, that's a nice average. Just want to see if he can sustain it and continue this momentum.
You described me as dense yesterday.
I don't know if you're quite like Marcellus Hawkins.
Yeah, not in the same context. Oh, I knew what you meant. Monkel Goodwin again held the point of attack and kept that play to a yard. So now it'll be 3rd down and a couple for Virginia Tech from their own 35-yard line.
As they told us, there's only a few times that you kind of like want Kyron Drones to put the Superman cape on. Is this one of them? Where you kind of get him out on the perimeter, maybe in some kind of zone read situation, quarterback run situation. give him some kind of RPO.
Quarterback run it is. And a first down and more. Oh, when Philip Montgomery was at Baylor, he recruited Kyron Drones.
And you're just going to see, block down. You're just going to see Kyron get out here on the perimeter. They motioned Marcellus Hawkins out of the backfield. Kyron Drones off to the races. He took a heck of a hit there by Peyton Williams at the end. Again, those are the kind of things they don't want to see him absorb too many of those. But that is a timely first down pickup.
Now Drones to throw. Loops one down the sideline for Aiden Green. Hold on. The ball jarred free as he hit the deck. Cisse, pretty good coverage.
Aiden Green is stepping up in this game with some incredible attempts at catches. Look, Cisse gets that left hand in there. You almost have the same kind of situation as Nick Harper had on his touchdown that was called back. Made a great effort at it, couldn't complete it through the ground. Ball doesn't survive the ground. But man, Aiden Green has shown up. He showed up late in the season for them, showed up in the bowl game.
Cutback lane, Prelo. 5 yards. Again, J.R. Johnson. Another stop in the heart of that South Carolina defense to make it 3rd down and 5. And hurry up. Here as Kyron Drones gets his team set. And now the look over. Four-man rush. Drones, bullets one, dropped. Takai Heath had it right in his hands for what should have been an easy first down and couldn't hold on.
See, they had the perfect route combination on. Takai Heath just running a little option, running away from coverage, had a stack release in this 3-by-1 set. And you see Takai Heath right there just breaking off of the tight end, Benji Gosnell. Got to make that play. You got to pick that up. It's a perfect play call. Just got to complete it.
So Jalen Kilgore back at the 10-yard line to receive the punt. And it takes a sideways hop out of bounds at the South Carolina 17-yard line. 2-point lead for the Gamecocks. Lenora Sellers' first opportunity of the second half in a moment.
Lenora Sellers, look, he had some good moments in the first half. You're going to see here just a little easy completion off of the play action look. Just reading Ed Man on the line of scrimmage. He just pulls the ball, just dumps it off to his tight end. Nice easy completions, and then get him going on a quarterback to side run, a little counter, pulling the guard, and then just letting Lenoris do what he does best, which is make plays. They got to get back to just getting him settled down. You see how he started off this game 3 for 3, last 5 drives rather, 4 for 10, only 35 yards. Got to get him back into a rhythm. They started too late in the second quarter. See if they can continue it here in the second half.
They run it with Attaway. 3 yards. You know, Lenora Sellers almost ended up at Virginia. He also almost ended up at Syracuse. Had a relationship with some of the Virginia coaches, but then they had a coaching staff change. Had a relationship with those same coaches who went to Syracuse, but then Dino Babers was on the hot seat. And at first, South Carolina kind of ignored him. And Shane Beamer said the same. So we had him in for a camp, and our eyes open. We're like, oh, I think we need to invite this guy to a game. And he went to the Tennessee game a couple of years ago. They had a big win. It was electric. But as Attaway spins out of a couple of tackles and picks up the South Carolina first down, they knew they had something special, certainly midway through last year.
That's a heck of an individual effort by Oscar Attaway. You see he makes one defender miss, makes 2 defenders miss. Lenora Sellers is taking the easy completion, letting his ball carriers do the work.
Pulls it, and there's the little tight end dump off that worked so well on that opening drive. Brady Hunt with a catch and run to midfield. It's almost like they're back on the opening drive script.
There you go. Mike Shula just making it simple again. Just wanting to put the ball through the hoop, so to speak, using a basketball analogy. Letting Linares to see the ball being completed, letting his guys catch and run, settling him into a nice rhythm.
Quarterback draw.
It's literally the same plays that they ran on the touchdown drive. Just flip it over and run it the other way. In the first quarter, everything was coming left. They had the little dump off to the tight end to Brady Hunt, and then he ran the quarterback counter to the left. This time, dump off to Brady Hunt to the right, run quarterback counter to the right. It's literally like he's repeating the plays, just getting him settled in. As you see Mike Shula there on your screen, like he played quarterback for a long time, has coached it for a long time. He knows exactly what his young quarterback needs.
Tries to help him as he takes some of the burden off of the shoulders of Sellers, but only picks up a yard. Quentin Reddish made the tackle, so another third down here. South Carolina's 3 for 7 on third down.
Now, Virginia Tech defense doing a nice job of changing the picture from pre-snap to post-snap, playing that mind game with Linares Sellers.
Sellers, Aaron throw, incomplete. Hoping for Mazio Bennett, who's been quiet. Isaiah Cash step for step in coverage. It's 4th down in plus territory, and they will punt.
You'll just see here late from this angle, you can see what Linares sees. He's looking for Mazio Bennett, but he also sees Caleb Woodson flash in his line of sight, and he tries to get it up over top of him and layer it because he doesn't want it to get picked, and he sends it high. That's just a nice job. Hey, look, give Virginia Tech credit. Caleb Woodson credit for stepping in his line of sight and making that throwing lane difficult and congested. Just a tough way to end the series after some success early on.
Tucker Holloway calls for a fair catch and has to go down on a dive to secure the football at the 7-yard line. 37-yard punt, well executed by Mason Love.
I saw at a young age, being around my dad in those lean years. I always thought he did a remarkable job of leading during tough times and never getting frustrated and just staying consistent and positive with his team, and then playing for him and coaching for him. Same thing. I learned the most just from watching him and seeing what it's about being a leader, and that's just how you treat people. The humility that he had as a head coach, and just his day-to-day consistency.
There's so many emotions for Shane Beamer. As he grew up a Hokie, told Laura Rutledge and the SEC Nation crew before the game, he'd be happy when this one is over.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because of all of those emotions. And that certainly makes sense. His defense has Kyron Drones and Virginia Tech backed up to start this drive. Hand off Hawkins. And let's go down to Chris.
Shane Beamer might feel those emotions, but he has not addressed that with his team. He did not want this game to be about him and his dad, but the team knew. So they had a team players-only meeting, and they said, listen, guys, Shane may not bring it up with us, but we're going to do this for him. We want a dub for him.
A lot of the features you would see about this team and locker room video from last season, this team loves their coach.
Oh, there's no question. Look, Shane Beamer is just a good man. He's a good man to talk to. He's a good football coach. You can see why people want to be a part of his program.
South Carolina shows blitz, and Hawkins finds a lane behind him. Spins for a first down. DQ Smith made the tackle, but a gain of 11 for Marcellus Hawkins.
This revamped offensive line for Virginia Tech really just going to work. Maybe got away with a little holding on that play at the point of attack, but I'll tell you, these running backs are hitting it downhill. Really running hard. Marcellus Hawkins has been impressive. He really has. You see there 11 rushes for 49 yards, averaging just 4.5 per carry. But he has really stepped up to the level of competition, just like they expected him to.
Play action. Drones down and out. And we asked Shane Beamer, and Chris talked about this earlier, how early in life did you know you wanted to be a coach? So, well, let's just say I knew at a young age, but I recruited all of the kids to come to my house and play in the backyard, but I didn't play with them. I went up on the deck, wore a Fisher-Price headset, and coached them. A little screen out to the bubble. And some punishment delivered by Cameron Seldon on DQ Smith.
Yeah, Cameron Seldon, the former running back, making the switch to wide receiver. You know, maybe somewhere down the road they have some visions of him being a Deebo Samuel type. And that's why. You see how physical he is with the ball in his hands.
So Shane Beamer from calling plays from the deck with the Fisher-Price headset on to now going against Virginia Tech. 3rd down and 2. A big spot here. Drones holds on to the football. Powers his way for a 1st down. Nice fake to Hawkins. He bought just enough real estate and picked up 4.
You see, they just read Dylan Stewart on the end man on the line of scrimmage. He comes down and he goes for the running back. He's just going to pull it. That's all he's doing is reading end man on the line. And then Kyron Drones, all 235 pounds of him, turns into basically a big tailback. It's a great read on his part. That's the trust that Philip Montgomery, the offensive coordinator, is talking about, putting in his quarterback to make the right decisions.
It's coming. Drones, one-on-one down the sideline. Flags everywhere. It's going to be pass interference on Miles Norwood. He grabbed a hold of Donovan Green. And did Green make that catch? He might have made the catch despite being held onto as the flags were thrown.
That's why he's so hyped up at the end. As you see Donovan Green, he's being held the entire route. You see he's got a handful of jersey.
Wow, what a catch.
That's an incredible catch. Donovan Green and Aiden Green have come to play.
Number 4, defense. Penalty is declined. Result is a completed pass. 1st down.
Didn't even need the pass interference help.
South Carolina having to go deep in their roster with the injury to Judge Collier. Now Bakari Swain, Ford, and Miles Norwood having to play even more. And these Virginia Tech wide receivers, Donovan Green and Aiden Green, have showed up.
Under 5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. South Carolina scored a touchdown on the opening drive of the game. No touchdown scored since. The 8 points for Virginia Tech. A safety and a couple of field goals. Drones, he'll go down, lassoed by Dylan Stewart.
You knew he was going to make his mark on this game eventually. Just watching with the hands and then just coming around the edge. Down there on the field taking a look at this young man before the game. I mean, he is put together perfectly to be an edge rusher. And there he finally gets one.
There is a flag down on the far side of the field. And it may have dropped out after the play was over. Like Donovan Green got the shoving match on the far side.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 3, offense.
Ouch.
15-yard penalty will be enforced from where the runner was tackled. Down counts. 2nd down.
So Donovan Green got into it with Bakari Swain. And that becomes the double whammy for Virginia Tech. It's 22 total yards that they go backwards. A 7-yard sack and then a personal foul on top.
Self-inflicted. Those are the kind of things you just can't have. It's an emotional game. You see Donovan Green when he made that catch on the sideline, Bob, how emotional he was after that. Just got to settle down and play.
So for 1st and 10, inside of the South Carolina 40-yard line. For 2nd and 32, all the way back at Virginia Tech's 40. And they'll run it with Hawkins. And he will get buried at the line of scrimmage. He lost a few more. Dylan Stewart does it again.
Watch the recognition. He starts on the rush, recognizes the draw. Watch him retrace his steps. He sees exactly what's coming. Right there at the point of attack.
Stewart and Okoronkwo were both there. 3rd down and 32. Drones sheds off a sack. And Shook throws it away as he got outside the pocket.
the field is an incomplete forward pass. 4th down.
Troy Pikes put the pressure on.
The defense coming to life for South Carolina. This rushing 4, but rushing with some twists up front, trying to free their athletes up. Playing good coverage in the back end, and then just chasing down the quarterback, Okoronkwo. A nice series for him. A nice series for South Carolina overall. Donovan Green set it off with the personal foul. Really killed the momentum for Virginia Tech.
Sistas gets away a high wobbly kick, but forces Bakari Swain into a fair catch inside his own 20-yard line. We are back with our Aflac trivia question. South Carolina, 9 wins last season, tied 5th most in their 118-year history. What is their school record for most wins in a season? I'll have the answer coming up. They haven't lost a regular season game since the 12th of October last year, when they lost by 2 to Alabama. They won their final 6 regular season games, including that stirring win in Death Valley against Clemson. Now, disappointing that they lost the Citrus Bowl to Illinois, but certainly finished last year on an up note, and that's why a lot of belief this could be a special season. Lenora Sellers goes to work on the slant. He's got a man, and getting free Nick Harbor. He's tough to catch, too, all the way out to the 41-yard line. Check that, Donovan Murphy.
You're going to see this, the window come open. Lenoris delivers it on time. Again, Mike Sewell, offensive coordinator, just trying to find some easy completions for his quarterback where the read is pretty well defined, and just get him into a flow.
Aiden Sellers empties the backfield. Sellers tries to spin out of a sack, gets held up, and then gets buried. Eventually, Emmett Laws finished him off.
Here you're going to see it. Just coming down the pipe. Just a Mike fire by the linebacker, Jaden Keller. And you're going to see the defenders just rally and help him out. Emmett Laws finishing him off. There's a lot of athleticism on that side of the ball. Now you got 2nd and long. This Virginia Tech defense just stepping up when it needs to.
That's their 3rd sack. One of the earlier sacks, remember, was the safety. Down and out to Brady Hunt, picked up 5. So now it will be 3rd down and 14 as we are inside of 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
We have not heard from any of the freshman wide receivers for South Carolina really to this point. You've seen them on the field now and then, like Ryan Rowe Jr. You see Jaden Sellers, Lenore Sellers' younger brother on the field, but they just have not been able to make an impact in terms of explosive plays down the field. They have got to get some chunk plays at some point in time.
Everyone's in the act now. Ben Bell was back there. Kamari Copeland got through.
And just watch the game. Ben Bell, Kamari Copeland just running the twist over the left side, and just watch. They both come home scot-free. Lenora Sellers has no shot. Offensive line can't pick up that 2-man game, can't pass it off, can't stay in front. Those are 2 of the better athletes on the defensive line for Virginia Tech. That's definitely going to end in disaster for South Carolina.
As we said, Kamari Copeland's nicknamed the Hulk. He just took over a practice last year when he got angry. Tucker Holloway with the fair catch. And like the Hulk, you wouldn't like him when he's angry.
No.
That's why they called him the Hulk.
He is having a heck of a game, man.
Well, let's answer the Aflac trivia question.
Most number of wins.
Yep. 9 last year, tied 5th most in their history, but what's the school record for wins in a season? You have any idea?
Purely a guess. I mean, no, 12?
11. Close. They've done it 3 times.
I'll tell you, if anyone is equipped to get them back to those kinds of win totals, it's that man on your screen. It's Shane Beamer. You can see there a little frustration on his face, not able to establish any rhythm This is an absolute just battle, back and forth. Field position, can't turn the ball over, have to punt it when necessary.
Nothing on first down. Dylan Stewart again arrives first.
There's an example of Dylan Stewart showing the improvement that he has made this offseason as far as playing the run. He says he's gotten bigger, gotten stronger, more of a force at the point of attack, just rounding out his overall game.
And that should end the quarter, as Virginia Tech opts to take this game to the fourth quarter, and the low-scoring story continues. No points scored by either team in the third. So South Carolina with a narrow 2-point lead as we head to the fourth.
Coach, you huddle your team around. What was your message in there?
Dominate the fourth quarter. That's what we do in practice every day, the last period. Come together. We sit all week. We got to get this thing to the fourth quarter and be who we are. We're really making it hard on ourselves right now and stinking this up in a lot of ways. But defense is playing their butt off. We need to stop. We need to go find a way to score some points.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Offense been hard to come by for both teams, as Drones out of the pocket to start the fourth quarter. Being chased to the sideline, takes a sack. Probably should have just thrown the ball away before Jatius Gear could track him down.
You're just going to see Jatius Gear right here, and he's going to just redirect and chase Kyron Drones down. See there at the end, he caught a foot just right in his midsection as he rolled over on Kyron Drones. You just hope it's like something where maybe it knocked the wind out of him. Maybe he's holding his wrist there as well, it looks like.
You know, both of these teams are going to lean on the culture that these coaches are trying to build when you get to a 2-point game in the fourth quarter. To that point, Brent Pry, they've got 30 transfers on this team. Add in the freshmen as well. So they have doubled down on team building since the end of last year, to the point that in camp they took a 24-hour retreat to a Boy Scout camp, and it was a lockdown. Everyone surrendered their cell phones. There were no AC in the cabins. It was old school. Military speakers came in to talk to the players. And he said they needed that, and they have built on that all the way through camp.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that you hope has some carryover into moments like this, where you're tired. It's a physical game. It's requiring a lot from you mentally. You just got to like lock in and lean on one another. As you see Jatius Gear being helped off, holding that right arm. Can't tell what the nature of the injury is. That's what those kind of retreats are for. They're for moments like this, when you're in a battle and you got to lean on your brother next to you to get the job done.
And a hard job it is when it's 3rd and 13. Against a stingy South Carolina defense that was top 5 in most of the big SEC categories last year, including points against, rushing, and total defense. Drones. Clean pocket, tipped ball incomplete. It was behind Tucker Holloway. Looked like J.R. Johnson got a fingertip on the football.
Yeah, you're just going to see Johnson right here, the linebacker, just reading Kyron Drones' eyes. You see it just dropping into his coverage, dropping into his zone. Doesn't have any work, and just using that big, long 6'3" frame to get in that throwing window. You've seen that happen to both of these quarterbacks here today. The second-level defenders getting their hands up, quarterback trying to layer it over them to hit something behind them, and they can't get it over. It's been a frustrating day for both of these quarterbacks trying to throw the football in the middle of the field.
6th punt, barely away again for Velsitzis. And it takes a bounce. A Virginia Tech hop inside the 30-yard line of South Carolina. We'll see where they say it went out. Right at the 26-yard line.
Illegal formation, kicking team, more than 4 players lined up in the backfield. 5 yards will be added to the end of the kick. First
Looks
down.
like a flag was
Timeout.
dropped as well for illegal formation. That was against Virginia Tech.
correction coach would like for them to re-kick with a 5-yard penalty at the previous spot.
So we're actually going to keep it right here because with that Virginia Tech hop, Shane Beamer said, no, I'd rather have them re-kick than take the penalty.
Field position, just absolutely critical, right? I mean, any chance you get to improve your field position, you'll take another crack at it.
Thought we were going to commercial, but then Shane Beamer said, no. Hold the commercial and put that punt group back on the field for Virginia Tech. And we've seen South Carolina get pretty close to Veltzitsas a couple of times. The last 4 years, South Carolina has blocked 16 total kicks. #1 in the SEC. And 7 more than Georgia and Tennessee, who were tied second. Not surprising with Shane Beamer's lineage on special teams. Playing and coaching for his dad. This is a really good kick, though. Swain on the return. Gets free. Swain to midfield. Breaks a tackle. Stays in bounds. Bakari Swain. Spin cycle. Touchdown. Special teams, a special teams touchdown to extend the lead.
What a heck of a job. Wait till we break this down. They were clearly going for the return the whole way. Got great hold-ups on the inside. Bakari Swain able to make a clean catch on the ball. They set this up right from the get-go. What a great call on the part of Shane Beamer to go ahead and make them kick it, try and set up the return, knowing that they needed an explosive play. Bingo.
It's a 2-score lead.
And here you see Bakari Swain just make a nice clean catch on it. He's able to make the first couple of defenders miss. They had got some good hold up on the outside, and then he just turns into a running back, just weaving his way through traffic, keeps his balance and dives in. What a huge play for South Carolina.
Shane Beamer raised on a culture of special teams, playing for his dad at Virginia Tech. And special teams, Lewis, just changed this game.
It sure did. And look, he has a veteran special teams coach in Joe DeCamillis on his staff. Longtime NFL assistant coach. You think they didn't do some scouting of what Virginia Tech likes to do as far as their punt coverage is concerned? When we draw it up, you'll see they were playing for the return the whole way. Executed it perfectly. Look at what they have. They get a double team up here. They get a double team right here at the point of attack. One-on-ones here. They let the big guys go in the back. They don't even block them because they figure, you know what? They're going to be late getting down the field anyway. And as this plays out, you can see the fact that the big guys aren't even down the field. What Bakari Swain's going to have to do is he's going to have to make some of the leakage. He's going to have to make those guys miss. But then what he has to do is just make the big guys in the back end dismiss them in open field. They have no shot. It's just a well-designed, well-executed punt return scheme. Block the guys who are most dangerous in terms of coverage, and then let your returner do the rest.
Aaron Jones, a yard up the middle. And we did have a camera on Shane Beamer. That is his reaction once Swain found the end zone. And Lewis Riddick, Chris Budden. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. 2nd down and 9 for Virginia Tech. Looking for an answer now. They need 2 scores. Play action for Drones. Slant on time for a first down. Although Shane Beamer, Chris, even shared a moment with you reacting to the punt return touchdown.
He came up to me, he said, Chris, that's so fitting. There were so many games in my father's career where the offense stunk it up for most of the game, and then the special teams comes and saves the day. You think this game means a little something extra to Shane Beamer?
Well, it means a lot to Virginia Tech, too, and it is a long way from over with 12.5 minutes to go as Drones was on time with his last throw. They run it with Hawkins. Cuts back into the secondary. Dives for 7.
That is a good, tough run by Marcellus Hawkins. We've seen this all game long, and the throw previous to that, Kyron Drones completes the pass when he's got his blitzing safety, Peyton Williams, right in his face. They're maintaining their composure here, just trying to get some rhythm going. And as you said, there's a lot of time left in this ball game, just under 12 minutes and counting.
Near side is Hawkins. He has the first down. Back-to-back tackles for DQ Smith.
You hear coaches talk all the time about fourth quarter. I can recognize it as plain as day. You can see the fatigue starting to set in. This is where your winter conditioning, your spring ball, your summer camp, it all has to come into play now. You have to dig deep because you're tired, you're sore, you've been banging on one another. It's been a very physical game back and forth. Who can lock in and make the plays necessary?
It's coming. Drones has a one-on-one down the sideline. Incredible catch. Isaiah Spencer somehow hauled it in. 28 yards.
These wide receivers for Virginia Tech have just been making some Sports Center top 10 type catches, man. Tightly contested, man-to-man coverage.
Play action again. Drones floats a one-on-one to Donovan Gray. He's got him. No, they'll say incomplete. For a moment, they were celebrating. It looked like he had hauled it in.
I was about to say, that looked like a one-hand. I mean, just look at this. He's not open. You're just giving him a chance to try and make a play, and he almost one-hands it.
And it just got ripped away at the end by Brandon Cisse.
There are some serious one-on-one battles going on in the deep third of the field in this football game.
Boy, Green had that football on the ground. Good play by Cisse just to get a hand in.
Never panic.
Knock it away.
Tried to stay in phase. Absolutely right. Play it all the way through.
Second down and 10. Drones keeps it himself. Inside the 25-yard line for 6 yards. You have to think 4-down territory now with 10.5 minutes to go inside the 25-yard line. So 2 snaps to get 4 yards here. Drones on the move. And now is that decision. Do you try the field goal to cut the lead back down to 8, or do you go for it on 4th down? And it looks like they're going to try and get the 3 here rather than going for it. And here comes John Love to cut the lead if he can. Back to a 1-score game.
Just need a clean operation if you're Virginia Tech. Make sure you secure the middle. No penetration. Snap and hold. Clean kick.
39 yards out. He's got it. Such a reliable kicker. 9 minutes to go. South Carolina's lead down to 6.
The Aflac kickoff game is brought to you by Aflac, reminding you that early detection can save lives. Check for cancer today.
Well, as week 1 of college football already had some drama from Lee Corso's final headgear pick. Texas-Ohio State went right down to the wire. Alabama stunned at Florida State. LSU Clemson was close. We've got a close one here as we still have 9 minutes to go.
The defenses have really shined in this game. The offenses have got it going in spurts. Special teams, the phase that a lot of times you forget about in football, how important it is, making the difference today for South Carolina.
A touchback on the kickoff. And the difference in this game right now is the swing kickoff return for a touchdown. Or the punt return, pardon me, for a touchdown.
Now that fourth quarter mentality for South Carolina. Now's where you can get that time of possession to tick back up, meaning running the football. Can you control the line of scrimmage? Face on, Oscar Adway have to assert their dominance on this football game.
Stays on the move. There's the boom. And has a little over 8 yards. Second and a yard and a half. Jordan Bass came up and made the stop. Even a field goal on this drive for South Carolina makes it a 2-score game again. So Virginia Tech can't surrender points. Face up. Bottled up. Bodies crashing everywhere in the tackle box, and it looks like he has the first down.
That's a heck of an individual effort. There's just white helmets flying everywhere, taking shots at him. Caleb Woodson punching at the ball as they had him stood up. Ball security. Ball security is important. No turnovers in this area of the field if you're South Carolina. If you're Virginia Tech, that's what you're hunting for. You're trying to get that ball carrier stood up, trying to give your offense a short field. Somebody has to make a play.
Sellers takes a shot for the track star. In stride, Harbor, touchdown. Was an Olympic trials invitee, an All-American in the 100 meters and 200 meters. That kind of speed allowed him to run right past the Virginia Tech coverage. Thought South Carolina might go for 2 to see if they could extend the lead to 14. Instead, they opt for the point after, but they do have the 24-11 lead.
Look, off of the play action, the corner, Caleb Brown, if you do not jam Nick Harbor clean and you let him get off the line of scrimmage, that's going to be the result 100% of the time.
Welcome back to the Aflac kickoff game. Nick Harbor, number 8 in black. Again, a second-team track and field All-American. He's given it up to concentrate on football. So, Lewis, he doesn't run the 100 or 200 anymore, but he just ran a 64-yard dash in this game, and he ran it to perfection.
Look, you got to know who your opponent is, and you got to know what the defense is that's called. You don't think as a corner you're going to have safety help, you better back up. Because if you're going to jam him and you miss, just forget it. Just run to the sideline. It's over.
Prelo to the 23-yard line.
And here you're going to see Caleb Brown. You see he just opens the gate. Outside leverage. The safety was caught short off of the play-action fake. And then it just turns into a foot race. And if you're confident enough to run stride for stride or think you can run stride for stride for a guy who runs a 10 100 meters or basically a 20 flat 200, I guess go ahead and take your chances. But Nick Harbor, that's what he is made for. He is made for the outside lane go ball. And Lenoris Sellers just laid it right up to him.
They played 3.5 quarters. And Virginia Tech doesn't have a touchdown yet. Now they need 2. Hawkins going backwards. You have to think this now is going to take Virginia Tech, Lewis, a bit out of their game plan. They have to put the ball almost exclusively down the field through the air with 7 minutes to go, needing 2 touchdowns.
No question. And now you know, as a defense, Clayton White, the defensive coordinator for South Carolina, knows. He says he's going to tell his guys, hey, Dylan Stewart, Brian Thomas Jr., Monkel Goodwine, tee it up. Get in your track stance and let's go. Let's go get the quarterback.
Over the middle. Catch made by Tucker Holloway. Check that in, Aiden Green. And Green gets about half of what they need to make it 3rd and manageable. 3rd down at 6. Another stop for Jalen Kilgore.
If you're Virginia Tech, you got to work with urgency. This is where Kyron Drones, his improvement as a passer has to really happen right now. He's got to make clean, accurate throws on time, in rhythm. The clock is going to start becoming a factor. You got to start getting some chunks down the field.
Taking a lot of time off the clock. Play clock under 10, and they're still trying to get lined up. Play clock at 2. Slam, caught, 1st down. Aiden Green again.
I could not be more impressed with Aiden Green. He finished the season strong. He has started this game strong. Just has like stick 'em for hands, making acrobatic catches, both him and Donovan Green.
Trying to get lined up a little quicker now. But still the look over from Kyron Drones. Under 6 minutes to go. They run it with Coney. It's a good run. Spins across the 50. He's got 11 yards and a 1st down.
He's taking what South Carolina has given them. They have 2 safeties deep. Box is light. They're just going to run it against a favorable look. Pick up the 1st downs. At some point, you got to take some shots. Got to try and get some chunk plays.
Looking for a soft spot in the zone, but underthrows Benji Gosnell, the tight end. Short hops it. And at least stops the clock, though, with 5:07 to go.
Just got to hang in there. Clean pocket, clean read. Just got to make that throw. You just got to wipe it out of your mind and just keep firing for Kyron Drones.
Four-man rush. Drones gets loose. Throws before he gets to the line of scrimmage and can't connect again with Gosnell. 3rd down and 10.
2/3 of the down, he did perfectly. He had Brian Thomas Jr. just breathing down his neck on a great pass rush from his blind side. Gosnell, he uncovered perfectly. So nice clean throwing window, just can't hit it.
Play blown dead.
Prior to the snap, South Carolina called their first charge timeout.
So South Carolina got a timeout called before
30 seconds in length.
Yet another old school rivalry game tonight. Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame in South Florida, as they've won 4 of their last 5 against top 10 opponents to take on the Canes. Notre Dame, Miami tonight. And what a job Marcus Freeman has done getting his team all the way to the championship game of the college football playoff last year.
How about just look at some of those statistics right there. Tied for most wins in a 3-season span in a storied program like Notre Dame, and winning against quality competition. Marcus Freeman has built a nice program down there. Look, Notre Dame and Miami used to always bang heads back in the days when I was playing in college ball. They were at the very, very top of college football. It's good to see them in the spotlight again.
So after the South Carolina timeout, 3rd down and 10. And once again, they've got a 5-man front, and they'll bring all 5. Drones over the middle. Low, unable to hold on. Aiden Green. He had room to run. If Drones could have put it on him, and now they're compelled to go for it. 5 minutes to go, just under. 4th down and 10, they need 2 scores.
That's basically 3 throws on this drive where receivers are open, and they're just not able to make the throw and catch. Those are situations you just got to have in this kind of situation.
Virginia Tech has to have it to keep the game alive. 4th and 10. Drones buying time. Fires one. Intercepted. Picked off by Peyton Williams. 4:43 to go, and with a 2-touchdown lead, the Gamecocks have it back.
Just playing 2-man across the board. Man-to-man back here. Got 2 safeties deep. They're just going to run some games inside. And you're going to see Kyron Drones flush out of the pocket to his left. But you just see the safety, Peyton Williams, just hanging deep, just like he's supposed to. Man under, 2 deep. As a safety, you're there for the overthrows, making sure nothing gets behind you. Textbook defense on the part of South Carolina. Kyron Drones had his opportunities in that drive to complete some passes, maybe not make it so difficult. Give South Carolina credit.
Quarterback run for Sellers. And Virginia Tech needs to sell out to try and stop the run, and they will use their timeouts as well with 4:35 to go. The Canes arriving.
4 minutes and 36 seconds. Virginia Tech has called their first
For their game tonight as well, Carson Beck off the bus. The Georgia transfer, trying to put his name back atop everyone's NFL wish list. It was there a couple of years ago at Georgia. 24 touchdowns against only 6 interceptions. Double the number of interceptions last season. And now he tries to flip the script at Miami.
Got big shoes to fill following Cam Ward down in Coral Gables. I really like offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson down there in Miami. Love what Mario Cristobal is doing. We visited with him. We talked about it a couple times last year. Miami's on the rise. Carson Beck is in the spotlight.
Nowhere to go. He lost a couple of more yards. Caleb Woodson was there first for Virginia Tech. Timeout number 2 call.
Virginia Tech has called their second charge timeout.
Special teams flipped this game for South Carolina.
Yep, explosive plays. You get an 80-yard punt return. That's definitely an explosive play. With one of the phases of the game that gets overlooked, but it was set up perfectly by Joe DeCamillis, the special teams coach, executed perfectly. And then get your home run hitter one-on-one against a corner with no help, no safety in the middle of the field, give you a clean release. That has to be 6 every time. But Lenora Sellers just serves it up to him. You see Nick Harbor down on the field, or you're ever up close and you look at him, he basically looks like LeBron James playing wide receiver. I mean, he is just the perfect physical specimen. Huge, so much length and range, just unbelievable athlete.
3rd and 13. Sellers avoids a sack. Breaks another tackle. stays in bounds. He's got the first down. Lenora Sellers doing Lenora Sellers thing. He is not human.
That's exactly what it is. Hey, you're sitting at home watching this, you're going, there he goes. That's that stuff we're talking about. Look at him, just people just sliding off of him, just giving one of those superhuman efforts when he needs it. You see there, this whole football team just gets infused with energy when he does that. Starting to find his rhythm, find his groove. He's had to grind his way through this game.
Tamari Copeland in the backfield, and then Michael Short in the open field. Both had to be lying there going, how did I miss him? Attaway for a yard, and the final timeout called by Brent Pry.
Just look at the strength he's going to show here. You see it on tape show up like that all the time. When you try and tackle Lenora Sellers around his shoulders, he just shrugs it off. It happened so many times last year. Think about back to the Clemson game. There's just numerous times where defenders thought that they could pull him down. You cannot go high on this guy. He's just too big and too strong. You take a look at him in a pregame situation. I mean, his biceps, his shoulders, I mean, he's built like a linebacker. You're not going to get him down, pulling him down, you know, by his upper body. You better go low and try and take his legs out.
If he chooses to become a pro after this season is over, Field Yates, he's got him as one of the top guys in the mock draft in terms of quarterbacks on the board.
Yeah.
Number 2 overall right now with Arch Manning number 1, but all of this, of course, could change.
Yeah, it sure could, and it will. Because I tell you what, this guy's sitting down here, he's going to be up here somewhere, especially with the way he played last night. And Lenora Sellers is just getting started. And we'll hear more from him, too. It's not over for him. Haven't seen Sam Levitt play myself yet. It's going to be a good season for quarterback play, no question about it.
Illegal snap, number 50, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So that backs up South Carolina. But now Virginia Tech out of timeouts. Sellers again. And this time he can't escape. Well, it takes 3 guys to get him on the ground. Even Michael Short needed help.
Even on a play like that, you just see the strength. You just see this young man's different. He's different. He improved all through the season last year. He's going to continue to improve this year. It'll be fun to see what his maturation looks like. They talk about him with just so much praise in terms of his consistency. So many people coming at him from so many different angles as his star just gets brighter and brighter. But he just stays the same.
The 35-yard line. From there it will be 4th down, but the Gamecocks could take the clock all the way down to about the 2:20 mark and inside before Shane Beamer has to call a timeout.
They showed a shot of Brent Pry prior to the last play. You get to see the thoughts just running through his head.
South Carolina has called their second charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds in late.
And Shane Beamer calling his offense over at the plus 35-yard line, 4th and 5. I guess you could go for it and just try and end the game. And even if you give it away on downs here, without any timeouts left, Virginia Tech might have any realistic chance of scoring a couple times, gone off the board regardless. So let's see what they do. Another special player we'll watch tonight, Jeremiah Love. Over 1,100 yards last season for Notre Dame as they will take on Miami. at 7:30 over on ABC.
This is such a good time to be a college football fan with all of the different, just fantastic athletes throughout the country. Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price. These guys are just premium athletes. You just see it at the skill positions. You see it at wide receiver across the country. So many guys. It's making watching college football so enjoyable.
South Carolina will go for it. Lenora Sellers will try and run for it. And he'll get it.
Just look at this, just running a little quarterback counter. He just gets it out on the perimeter. He looks like a running back. You know, we were talking about it in our production meetings about
it's the 2-minute timeout on the field.
About what kind of quarterback could he become as far as a pro comparison. Then you brought up the name Josh Allen. I agree.
Will South Carolina be a part of the college football playoff? They certainly have the talent to do it. And boy, conflicted emotions, I'm sure, for Frank Beamer. That is him back there taking pictures as his son is about to defeat his old team. And it is victory formation for South Carolina. And Shane Beamer told us, said from the time that we got back in January, our team has had an edge. Yes, we won the last 6 games at the end of last season, but it was more ticked off to not be in the playoff than resting on our laurels. And so now he's got his son down there as Shane Beamer gets to celebrate a win to open the season.
Yeah, it was interesting that he said despite the fact that they are a young team, the team was very methodical, very serious, very focused about its approach. Wasn't immature, very single-minded of purpose. Just a really good visit with him. One of the things I love most about this job, talking to guys like Shane Beamer, who are just quality people.
And always like to take a look back at what you thought had to happen.
Yeah, what's interesting is like Virginia Tech would have passed the ball for even more yardage had Kyron hit some of those easy throws there at the end of the game, but they didn't create any turnovers. South Carolina got it going, rushing the football late in this game. Really started to lean on it, didn't really need the extra yardage. But the defense, yeah, they got 2 interceptions. Kyron didn't really win from the pocket, but a lot of that was self-inflicted.
There's the Gatorade bath for the coach. So that will make it official, as this Aflac kickoff game goes to the SEC once again. And your final score will be South Carolina 24, Virginia Tech 11. And the point you made, a fair one as well. Virginia Tech's going to give some people problems this year.
They sure are. As soon as the quarterback play gets a little bit leveled off and they can be more consistent moving the football, the defense plays quality football. They're going to be a good football team.
And a solid opening win for the Gamecocks. For Lewis Riddick and Chris Budden, I'm Bob Wischusen. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, over on ABC, Notre Dame Miami's coming up. Right now, it's time for Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown.